It read, with the grace of Bhagavan Ramji, Kingdom of Jammu Kashmir in Tibet. And we can see here one of the news clippings, the accession of Kashmir into Republic of India on the 23rd of October, 1947. And it's saying here, the Hindustan Times, Kashmir accedes to India. The last king, Hari Singh, signed the instrument of accession with the Republic of India and became part of India. Though the last king was a Hindu, the Hindu population was a minority. The partition of the British Raj into India and Pakistan caused huge riots, shocking massacres, brutal murders, and horrific rapes and ethnic cleansing, and a cultural genocide of all of the Hindus in Kashmir. On the 7th of November, 1947, terrorists from Pakistan and deserters from the western districts of the state captured Rajouri. The town was surrounded by non-Hindu mobs who carried out extensive killings, loots, and rapes of Hindu residents. According to Indian sources, an estimated 30,000 Hindus and Sikhs living in Rajouri were reportedly killed, wounded, or abducted. And many Hindus and Sikhs, on one after the other, on 25th of November, gathered in Mirpur for shelter and protection, were killed by the Pakistani terrorists and troops. Mass rape and abduction of women was also reported, and estimates measure the death count as over 20,000. However, it was in the year 1990 when Hindus were completely exterminated from Kashmir. In 1990, to kill people saying that they were kafir was not politically a good strategy anymore. So internationally also, it would not be justifiable strategy. They needed a better strategy. Now, we'll also understand the Hindu Holocaust that happened in Bangladesh. Have you ever heard before about the 1971 Hindu genocide done in Bangladesh? And if we see just the numbers, in 1951, there were 22% of the population was Hindu. And in 2011, it dropped more than 50% to 8.9%. And we had 3 million dead Hindus and 300,000 who were raped. And the Kashmiri propaganda was used to justify Hindu genocide. After losing the war in the 1970s, the terrorists, in revenge, created a fictitious identity called Kashmiriyat. Kashmiriyat word was coined to imply Islamic origin of Kashmir. They claimed the land solely belonged to people of their religion, and Hindus had nothing to do with Kashmiriyat or Kashmir. Kashmiriyat word was cunningly used to mask and disguise what was actually religious intolerance and religious persecution as a dispute originating from geography. The international community thought it was a geographical dispute, and they stayed away. While killing Hindus, terrorists needed nothing more than knowing they were killing kafirs, the non-believers of their religion. And the malicious anti-Hindu mass media confused the entire country to think it was a political geographical dispute, but it was something to do with war crime, and Kashmir was just a war zone. The average Indian citizen was systematically brainwashed by media mafia to think that he or she need not have any ounce of sympathy or empathy or feeling of standing up for human rights or religious rights of Hindus. The religious extremists forewarned all Hindus to either leave, convert, or die. And following this, thousands of Hindu men, women, and children were brutally killed. Before the exodus of 1990, there were at least 160,000 Hindus who lived in Kashmir. And today, 30 years after the violent exodus, there's only 4,000 remaining. And terrorists have only three options in Hindus: either convert, flee, or perish. We can go on to the next slide. But if we see the reality of the situation, the Hindu population, even in Kashmir, even small children were being absolutely murdered grossly. How can someone kill small children? Because of geographical disputes, because of religious extremism, because children were kafir, or because the children out of their fictitious Kashmiriya descendancy. Whatever reason the killer may have subscribed to, how can somebody justify anything if it comes to murder? Kailasa is the one hope for reviving the Kashmiri Shaivism. And Kailasa is reviving sampradayas like the Kashmiri Shaivism, which got completely destroyed. Kailasa is recreating and reviving the sampradayas, monasteries, temples, deities, library, and everything needed to revive the ancient tradition. But in the incomplete antithesis to established laws, the state police foisted an illegal case against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. On the 4th March 2010, the state police of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka together foisted an illegal case against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. It involved glaring illegalities which were completely contrary to well-established laws and procedures. It was against basic human rights and absolutely unconstitutional. In this, one of the anti-Hindu militant leaders gave a letter with false information to the police. And this particular anti-Hindu mentioned no crime, no victim, no witness, and nor any evidence. The so-called complaint of this anti-Hindu militant terrorist named Lenin was an obvious facade for the blatant lawfare that was unleashed against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Despite having no complaint, no crime, no victim, and no jurisdiction, no crime, prima facie, or anything, yet the complaint was instantaneously registered at 8 p.m. on 4th March 2010 by the police and this was 48 hours after a morph video had been released with a massive wave of character assassination incited and launched to incite mob violence, mob hatred, mob lynching, and even multiple assassination attempts against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. On the 2nd, we also have the false stories that were maliciously accepted by the police station as a formal police complaint. Third, the Egmore police on their own had an IPC section 376 of rape, even though the letter by Lenin in itself did not even mention any word of rape. The police acted beyond the legal reach of the jurisdiction for a matter of Bidadi, Karnataka. The fabricated complaint was transferred 400 kilometers to the jurisdiction of Bidadi of the matter, and the Karnataka police offered a bribe inviting people to pose as a false witnesses. And 7, nobody accepted the bribe to become false witnesses. Even before arresting the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the police lied to the court saying that they had already arrested the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. A few hours later, the police actually illegally arrest him. These are the series of crimes that so many anti-Hindu elements and terrorists had worked together to conduct and execute against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And this is a photograph of one of the main conspirators and anti-Hindu militants. He is a pawn of the anti-Hindu conspirators who gave a letter to the police in the name of a complaint. And again, he neither mentioned any crime, nor any victim, or any witnesses, or any semblance in the complaint. But the police accepted it as a formal police complaint, with no primary investigation even. What is evident from this complaint is not any so-called crime by the Supreme Court of Hinduism, but Lenin's own criminal intent and conduct towards women, as he himself admits that he had hated the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for engendering and protecting a safe enlightenment ecosystem tuned to higher spiritual pursuits, for which brahmacharya or celibacy for those who chose to walk in this path as monks is part of the chosen lifestyle. Now, we have to ask ourselves, in a country where you live, can somebody narrate a story about like this and have it accepted by the police? The next slide, please. And these false stories were maliciously accepted by the police station, and it was converted into a formal complaint. The next slide, please. The next slide, please. The malicious false case on the basis of baseless suspicion was registered 400 kilometers far from the residence of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, which is the legal jurisdiction by law for any complaint. It is very clear that it is an absolutely unlawfully created illegal complaint beyond their jurisdiction that was transferred 400 kilometers to the jurisdiction. And the case was unlawful, beyond the jurisdiction, and absolutely fabricated. And there was even no real complainant. Even the main anti-Hindu conspirator had claimed only of his suspicions. The next slide, please. The Karnataka police offered bribes openly on television channels, and you're seeing some of the examples here. On television channels, newspapers, and social media to create false witnesses, but nobody accepted their offer. The desperate police begged and threatened even female devotees of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, like the well-known actress Ranjita, to make false allegations of rape. And here you're seeing these article clippings where it's saying the CID has invited more information about cases lodged against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism ashram in Bidadi. The sleuths have promised to protect the informant's identity, and travel and other costs will be provided too. This is a blatant bribe on public news channels and newspapers. Again, here it says, CID chief goes on Facebook and appeals to victims of crime to come forward and depose against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And so far, no one has bothered to respond to his hope. Nobody even accepted the bribe to become a false witness. Even before arresting the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, it was lied in court saying that they had already arrested him. A few hours later, the police actually illegally arrested him. And this was in spite of the fact that they did not even find a single false accuser or of the false rape charge they had foisted against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in this fabricated complaint. If there had been no lie, the Council of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism would have secured an anticipatory bail, after which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism could not have been arrested. If this was a straightforward case of sexual abuse, as claimed by the anti-Hindu militant terrorists and the media nexus, who was the victim? Neither was there any victim mentioned in the third person's complaint, or is there even a word of rape mentioned. Yet a massive manhunt is launched and lawfare is launched. Why? There were so many unanswered questions. The justification propaganda was launched. Sanitarian services by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was literally buried under a flood of lawfare and hate propaganda, targeting and singling out the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and shaming and socially isolating him. So the anti-Hindu terrorists and anti-Guru Hindu mafia could carry out their plan to assassinate the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in anonymity. And you'll just watch this brief video where it shows how multiple states together foisted the illegal cases against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and show the juxtaposition of what the media said and what the truth was. Yes, we can go on to the next slide. Another false case was filed in Puducherry, Tamil Nadu against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on the 5th of March 2010. And already the exact same false case had been filed a few days earlier in another city in Tamil Nadu, and yet was based on the same false, absurd allegations. Multiple same false cases were filed against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, which is illegal. It's basically like double jeopardy. In the meantime, hundreds of temples, centers, and monasteries founded by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism were literally burned, raided, and destroyed. In 6 days, 3 complaints from 3 different locations, Puducherry and 2 other locations, on the very same false allegation of hurting religious sentiment from multiple third parties, were filed against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And these false complaints, the previous slide, these false complaints were used to deny bail to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism with the intention to keep him imprisoned forever. In prison, attempts were made to kill the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and only 6 years later, some of these false complaints were quashed by respective courts, terming them as baseless. And sandalwood trees grow naturally in the monastery of Bengaluru in Adi Kailash, as it is close to the forest area. However, on the 26th of April 2010, the police sent a notice to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism demanding him to appear in court in 19 days prior to the date of the notice. Here we have that very notice, where it's from the Assistant Forest Officer in Ramnagara Division, and the date 19 days prior to the to when the letter was actually dated, they had summoned the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in court. False charges of sandalwood smuggling were non-bailable. It was a planned strategy to arrest the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and keep him indefinitely in custody until they could force a false confession from him using severe forms of torture. The cunning strategy of lawfare using false allegations of specially selected non-bailable crimes supported by the character assassination through media justification propaganda were deployed to justify the unlawful arrest of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and his prolonged time in custody with no basis whatsoever, and shocking custodial torture and relentless multiple assassination attempts. The police raided the monastery and they caught hold of simple pieces of fabric on which tiger skin pattern was printed. The media immediately framed the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on false charges of using wildlife animal products such as real tiger print, pelts, skin of leopard and spotted deer, and wild dog. Similarly, several other absurd false cases were filed against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And not only this, but on top of that, there were more than 14,000 hours of defamatory and hate speech spread in the media. And the map of India here is showing the state of Tamil Nadu in saffron. The regions in saffron show places where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had established more than 5 major temple monasteries and more than 55 temples in the entire state. During the first week of March 2010, all the temples were burned and destroyed and shut down by anti-Hindu militant forces. And the police sent an illegal notice to the banks ordering them to freeze the bank accounts of the public charitable trust associated with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The residents were left to die with no food or support and were told, if you don't have food, eat air. And not just this, but the anti-Hindu elements in the central government departments, such as the Ministry of External Affairs, the Passport Office, also acted against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Passport Office impounded the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's passport with no notice and for no reason. And we also see how in the media had been continuously trying to create a false victim against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. In a shocking display of open warfare, they advertised in the newspaper and in Facebook, inviting anyone who would be ready to come and in order to file as a false victim, file a false complaint against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And the police even openly declared that a bribe so that the victims who were not there could come forward. And here, are some of the media articles during this time. The complaint against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism did not mention any victim, yet the charges slapped against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism were rape and unnatural sex. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was a victim of a huge conspiracy, and the religious sentiments of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism followers were relentlessly abused. But the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was slapped with conspiracy, cheating, and hurting religious sentiments. Later, in September 2010, the High Court of Karnataka itself described this entire false case and trial as torture, targeting the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism under the guise of suspicion. The truth is that His Divine Holiness, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the truth is that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism continues to contribute to the revival of the most ancient, pristine Hindu civilization, the enlightenment ecosystem, through Kailasa, the only Hindu nation. To revive Kailasa, the ancient enlightened civilization, and the great cosmic borderless Hindu nation, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism works untiringly in the following two directions. As the current coronated pontiff of the ancient temple monastery complexes called the Adinams, and also by establishing new Adinams across the world. The next slide, please. Not by revolution, by evolution is the solution. In Kailasa, there's no conflict or war. And by settling model communities, enlightenment ecosystems, the Sarvagna Pitas is the solution that Kailasa is doing across all over the world. And this is the reality that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been contributing for the last more than 2 decades, the last 27 years. Anti-Hindu terrorists and anti-Guru Hindu mafia have been attacking Hindus and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, trying to force the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to stop or halt his mission. But life will become a failure fighting with enemies. Kailasa and the citizens of Kailasa need to start doing and taking responsibility in order to ensure that Hinduism is protected for the next generations. And the real work for which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the incarnation of Paramashiva, happened on planet Earth is fulfilled for the whole of humanity. And not only this, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is continuously, every single day, been guiding each and every one of us and helping each and every one of us achieve super conscious breakthrough through various programs, through darshans and dikshas, and of course, the Nithyananda Satsang. Now, it has come time for each and every one of us to get ready for the darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the darshan of Paramashiva himself. Let us get ready and sit with our head, neck, and spine in a straight line. And sit with your head and neck and spine in a straight line. And let us begin chanting the Mahavakya and get ready for the presence of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Continue chanting the Mahavakya and let us get ready for the darshan, the divine presence of the incarnation of Paramashiva. Let's get ready.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Connecting with the divine with your eyes closed is meditation. Connecting with divine with your eyes open is darshan. Come, let us all now move from meditation to darshan. Slowly, very slowly, please open your eyes.
என்னையனே நித்யானந்த காருண்யனே என்னப்பனே என்னையனே நித்யானந்த காருண்யனே நித்யா 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 நித்யானந்தனே நித்யா 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 நித்யானந்தனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய ரூப நித்ய காருண்யனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய ரூப நித்ய காருண்யனே என்னப்பனே என்னையனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய காருண்யனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய காருண்யனே பக்தர்களு அனுகூலனே பக்தர்களு அனுகூலனே நித்யா 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 நித்யானந்தனே நித்யா 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 நித்யானந்தனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய ரூப நித்ய காருண்யனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய ரூப நித்ய காருண்யனே என்னப்பதே எனையனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய காருண்யனே என்னப்பதே எனையனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய காருண்யனே நித்யா 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 நித்யானந்தனே நித்யா 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 நித்யானந்தனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய ரூப நித்ய காருண்யனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய ரூப நித்ய காருண்யனே நித்யபுரி வாச நித்யானந்தனே நித்யபுரி வாச நித்யானந்தனே நித்யபுரி வாச நித்யானந்தனே நித்யபுரி வாச நித்யானந்தனே அருள்புரி நித்யானந்த ரூபனே அருள்புரி நித்யானந்த ரூபனே நித்யா 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 நித்யானந்தனே நித்யா 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 நித்யானந்தனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய ரூப நித்ய காருண்யனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய ரூப நித்ய காருண்யனே என்னப்பனே என்னையனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய காருண்யனே என்னப்பனே என்னையனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய காருண்யனே கால்களில் பொற்றிலம்பு நித்யம் கைகளில் பொற்றதங்கை கால்களில் பொற்றிலம்பு நித்யம் கைகளில் பொற்றதங்கை கல்கள் என வருவான் கல்கள் என வருவான் நித்யா 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 நித்யானந்தனே நித்யா 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 நித்யானந்தனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய ரூப நித்ய காருண்யனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய ரூப நித்ய காருண்யனே என்னப்பனே என்னையனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய காருண்யனே என்னப்பனே என்னையனே நித்யானந்த நித்ய காருண்யனே
Here in Kailasa's Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Devalaya, Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva, Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti, and the Utsava Vigraha of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, grace in the Utsava Mandapam. The primordial Supreme Godhead of Hinduism is Paramashiva. He is considered the source superconsciousness from which the entire creation manifests and is maintained, gets dissolved, diluted, and finally liberated, thus performing the Panchakritya, the 5 cosmic actions. Paramashiva delivered the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra to Parashakti along with the Kamikagamas, revealing the secrets of the cosmos and the ways to attain enlightenment. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Swamiji's Guru in the Tantra Sampradaya is Mataji Viputananda Puri, Kuppamal. In her previous birth as Brahmayogini herself, Mata Viputananda Puri was recognized by Paramashiva for her utmost chastity and her yogic abilities. Paramashiva blessed her to facilitate the happening of his next incarnation in the form of Swamiji. She personally initiated Swamiji into many sacred dharanas, sadhanas, and tantric scriptures, and ensured that Swamiji's avataric purpose is fulfilled. Tantra refers to the aphorisms of the highest truth of enlightenment in Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Making use of mantras, yantras, and other forms of dharana, Paramashiva imparts this knowledge to Devi Parashakti. The knowledge source of this sampradaya is the Shiva Sutras, especially the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Tantra, the Sanskrit word, means technique. The aphorisms in the Tantra Shastras give people the direct technique to achieve enlightenment. The knowledge source of Tantra Sampradaya are the agamas given by Paramashiva himself, such as the Kamika Agama, and the unending chain of enlightened masters starting from Paramashiva and Devi Parashakti themselves, who kept this science alive till the modern day. Some of these great masters hail from the Kashmir and the Dravida traditions, such as Somanath, Somanand, Utpalladeva, Abhinavagupta, and Somasambhu, to name a few. Swamiji has helped dispel several myths related to the word Tantra and the Tantric Sampradaya, which have been attacked continuously by the anti-Hindu forces and constantly shown in a bad light. By reviving the knowledge of the Shiva Sutras and the science of power manifestation, Swamiji has re-established the authenticity of the Tantra Sampradaya of Sanatana Hindu Dharma and revealed its goal as achieving oneness with Paramashiva. Swamiji has given hours of discourses on Shiva Sutras, and all the temples around the world have the presiding deity of Paramashiva and Parashakti, who are described as per the Kashmiri Shaiva Tantra. Many of the Shastra Pramanas, where Paramashiva reveals the secrets of power manifestation, are there in the Tantra Shastras. Let us now offer our worship to the Utsava Mandapa and the Guru, Paramaguru's Tandila, here in Kailasa's Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Devalaya.
अभयवरदहस्तं सौम्यशृङ्गारभावं विपुलवदननेत्रं चन्द्रबिम्बांशमौलिं ऋजुतनुसमपादं स्थानकं विद्रुमाभं हरिणपरशुपाणिं पद्मपीठोपरिस्थम् ॐ दशाङ्गं गुग्गुलोपेतं सुगन्धं च सुमनोहरम् आघ्रेयः सर्वदेवानां धूपोऽयं प्रतिगृह्यताम् श्री सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानन्द परमशिवाय नमः। श्री विबुधानन्दाम्बायै नमः। श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। धूपमाघ्रापयामि। ॐ साज्यं त्रिवर्ति संयुक्तं वह्निना योजितं मया ग्रहाणमङ्गलं दीपं त्रैलोक्यतिमिरापहम्। श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। श्री विबुधानन्दाम्बायै नमः। श्री सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानन्द परमशिवाय नमः। दीपं दर्शयामि। अथ नैवेद्यम्। ॐ अमृते अमृतोद्भवे अमृतवर्षिणी अमृतं श्रावय श्रावय स्वाहा। श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। श्री विबुधानन्दाम्बायै नमः। श्री सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानन्द परमशिवाय नमः। अमृतं महानैवेद्यं निवेदयामि। नैवेद्यानन्तरम् आचमनं समर्पयामि। ॐ न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकं नेमा विद्युतो भाति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तमनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। तन्महेशाय विद्महे वाग्विशुद्धाय धीमहि तन्नः शिवः प्रचोदयात्। सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणि नमोऽस्तुते। कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। श्री विभुतानंदाम्बायै नमः। श्री सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपाय भगवते श्री नित्यानंद परमशिवाय नमः। कर्पूर नीराजनं संदर्शयामि, रक्षां धारयामि। मंगलं कल्पवृक्षाय मंगलं ज्ञानदायिने सदाशिवाय श्री नित्यानंदेश्वराय मंगलम्। मंगलं श्री विद्याम्बायै मंगलं कामदायिन्यै सर्वमंगलदात्री नित्यानंदेश्वर्यै मंगलम्। मंगलं गुरुदेवाय मोक्षमूलाय मंगलम्। परावतार नित्यानंदाय गुरवे मंगलम्।
Nityananda அன்னைக்கு வந்தனமே ஞானத்தை நல்கிடும் அருக்கரமே ஞானத்தில் நமக்கினி ஏன் பயமே இனியதன் பிடிபட்ட மக்களுக்கே பணி செய்து நிற்குவார் நோய் நொடியே அண்ணாமலை பெற்ற ஆரம்போதே ஆடி பற்றிட ஆனந்தமே விடுதே சூரியன் திருமுகமே அதன் கதிர்பட்டு மலர்ந்து மனமதுவே தேயாத துவங்கிடும் சந்திரனே தாயகவன் திட்ட சுந்தரனே தியானத்தின் சக்தியை உணர்ந்திடவே நித்யானந்தமாய் வந்தவரே உயர்ந்திட ஒளியூட்டும் திருவிளக்கே உள்ளத்தை உன் பாதம் வைத்தவர்க்கே ஆடிடும் வேளையில் ஆயர்பாடி அழகன செய்கிறாய் நர்த்தனமே கூடிடும் இடமெல்லாம் கோகுலமே குத்தாடி குதிக்குள்ளும் குளிர்ந்திடுமே செந்நிற காவியில் தண்டபாணி அந்த சிவகுருவாக தன் வடிவே சென்னியில் பதித்திடும் மின்னடியே செங்கருவாகும் என் சிந்தையுமே காட்டிலும் மேட்டிலும் நான் அலைந்தை காடும் குளிரிலும் வெயிலிலும் தான் திரிந்தேன் ஈட்டிய திரவியம் ஆனந்தமே அதை அள்ளியே தந்தாரே நம்மிடமே ஆனந்தம் ஆனந்தம் மந்திரமே அள்ளி ஊட்டிய அன்னைக்கு வந்தனமே ஞானத்தை நல்கிடும் அற்கரமே ஞானத்தில் நமக்கினி ஏன் பயமே
ஓம் நித்யானந்தேஸ்வர பரமசிவ சமாரம்பாம் நித்யானந்தேஸ்வரி பரமசக்தி மத்யமாம் அஸ்மதாச்சார்ய பர்யந்தாம் வந்தே குரு பரம்பராம். I welcome you all with my love and respect. I welcome all of you, Sarvanyapita, Kartas, Ejamans, Manifestors, Sarvaparityagis, Shri Mahants, Mahants, Kotari Tanedar, visitors, viewers, Mantreshwara, Vidyeshwara, Ganeshwara, Lokeshwara, Astreshwara, everyone sitting with us all over the world through Nithyananda TV. I welcome all of you with my love and blessings. Paramashiva's message directly from Kailasa. Listen. Conscious sovereignty manifests in the guru-disciple relationship through Shaktipada and Shaktinipada, which is neither difficult nor easy. Guru-disciple relationship is neither difficult nor easy. It's a simple science. How a car runs, it's neither difficult nor easy. It has its own methodology, system. How flight flies. How things work. How ship floats, how car runs, how things work, how huge machines function. All this neither easy nor difficult. All of it has its own system. I tell you, you manifesting conscious sovereignty, neither difficult nor easy. It is simple science. You deciding to connect with my introduction about myself. I am introducing me as Paramashiva. You deciding to connect my introduction about me. It is neither difficult nor easy. It's a simple science. The word easy makes you take things for granted. The word difficult puts you in powerlessness. Listen. Listen. I'll just attend to this. Uma Balaji, my blessings, and I will take care of the devotee Antu Saha and protect that person. Uma Balaji sent a live message. Uma, I'll surely take care of Antu Saha and protect her completely. Don't worry. When you send a message, I can't afford to not to attend. Same way, London, Sharankananda, you sent a message that your daughter Shambhavi tested COVID positive. Don't worry, I will take care of her. I will heal her and protect her completely. Saranka Vidyagaran, Lalatakshananda. I will protect your daughter Sambhavi. Don't worry. I will heal her. Listen. Let me come back to the satsang. Listen. When you decide to connect with my introduction about me, simply Shaktipada and Shaktinipada happens. Simply the conscious sovereignty manifests in you. Listen. I sit here in Kailasa. Any word I utter becomes like a movement all over the world. For example, if I say, let us do Madhugari Bhiksha and gift Gita books to people, I am seeing all over the world people start doing. If I say, let's do Ratha Yatra all over the world, I am seeing immediately Rathas getting built all over the world. It's actually the impact of Corona this year. I didn't want Ratha Yatra and Madhugari Bhiksha to go on for the 4 months, the whole Chaturmasya. Your life is a first priority for me. So I want you all alive and healthy. And I want to tell you all very openly, I'm scared of human beings conspiring against common mass. Understand? Powerful decision makers. Conspiring against the mass. It's very dangerous, and I do not want you guys to become the victims of conspiracies done against humanity. I want all my disciples to be protected. Your life is far more important for me than anything. That's the reason I decided. I know in London they have built such beautiful chariot. Atmadaya, my blessings. I am so happy to see the chariot you built. But sorry, don't do the Rath Yatra this year. Let the Corona settle down. We will do it later. But Paramashiva accepted the chariot you built. Such beautiful chariot she built. I think that's the most beautiful chariot in the whole Kailasa. She built more beautiful chariot than the chariots I built. Such wonderful work Atmadaya has done. I know The moment I utter one word from Kailasa, simply you are making that as a mission, movement. So listen to this. This year, I'm going to be doing 40th Chaturmasya. Means 40 years I have done unbroken Chaturmasya Vrata. But let me be very honest first. 6-7 years was done more like a sitting on my guru's lap. My gurus will keep me in their lap and make me do. Only after the age of 7, I remember doing it on my own. Like I'm on my own, I can sit and chant the mantra and sangalpa. Till then, they used to make me sit in their lap. How we make Skandamata do puja. We make her sit and we hold her hand and pour Bhadyam Samarpayami, and we hold bell in her left hand and ring the bell and hold the Uttarani in her right hand and make her pour. The same way only my gurus did for me. But 40 years of unbroken Chaturmasya. Listen. I want all of you to know many times people ask me, Swamiji, you tell stories about your gurus, such powerful people, such extraordinary spiritual giants. Why they did not create Kailasa or huge organization all over the world? I laugh at them. Fool! Who you think is creating now? It is they who is creating through this body. The tapas they did on this body, literally, they all, with all their tapas, energies, powers, intelligence, knowledge, everything, they all entered into this being and made the ultimate manifest. And through this body, they are all manifesting. And they are only doing this whole Kailasa. Literally, they are doing the whole thing. This 40th Chaturmasya is not my pride, it is their glory. Understand? Kanchi Paramacharya, what a great being. But the way he used to attend to the details, see, there is no need for him to tell my guru, I'll tell the exact words my guru told me. as narrated by my guru. As a baby, they took me to him to receive the blessings. He blessed, and then he said, ஒரு சன்னியாசிக்கு வயசு சாதுர்மாசியம் வச்சுதான் கணக்கு பண்றது சாஸ்திர வழக்கம், சாஸ்திரப்படி வழக்கம். சீக்கிரம் ஆரம்பிச்சிருங்கோ சாதுர்மாசியத்தை. It means usually the sannyasi's age, seniority, is counted based on the number of chaturmasyas that person has observed, not based on the age. The age itself is counted only based on the number of chaturmasya the person performed. So understand, the world of spirituality is totally different. So he blessed and gave this instruction to my gurus. I think by that time they could organize everything and make everything ready and do the rituals and initiation. It took 2.5 years. I think maybe when I was 2.5, the third year, that's the time they started the first Chaturmasya, made me do the first Chaturmasya. So now it comes to 40th Chaturmasya. We were able to pin the date not from my memory, from the memory of the photographer who took the photograph. When they gave me the Balasanyas initiation and then made me do the Chaturmasya, they took a photograph. Fortunately, that photographer is still alive. That photograph also we got it. And from that photographer's dates, he gave us the date. Based on that, we are able to come to the conclusion that it is 40th. From the researches we have done by the autobiography team. Otherwise, I myself don't know whether it is 41st or 42nd, because which year they made me do, exact year, I don't have any other record. Other than that, now we have got a very clear proof and evidence that photographer who took the photograph is still alive and he has the original negative with the dates. In those days, when the photographers take photo, they will only give the print. Negatives they will keep with them with the date. So whenever we want that photograph reprint, we have to go to them. That's a village way of studio functioning. A studio functions in villages this way only. So whenever you want a print, you go to them and you tell them to make a print of the size you want. For that they charge, and that is the way they survive. The recurring income for them. So based on that, we came to know that this is the 40th Chaturmasya. We are calculating, because from his record we got the detailed dates and the incident. He has a small, like a description about what is that photograph is all about when he took it. And same way, I want all of you to know, even my birth date, precise time, date, horoscope, we got it from the family astrologer. The family astrologer who wrote my horoscope, his son is still alive and doing the same. It's like a hereditary. For generations, they do the same astrology. The horoscope is their life. That is their profession. And we could not get from the house in which I was born and brought up. But we went to this family astrologer. From his old archives record, he pulled it out from his father's handwriting. He also recognized that his father's handwriting and pulled it out from his father's archives. Actually, the person who is alive, his father wrote mine. His grandfather wrote my grandfather's. Like a whole family horoscope is there. All the family members in my family, all their horoscopes are there in their archives. So from that they pulled out. Only from that we could get the precise time, date. Otherwise, no other government document exists. No hospital record. Nothing exists. And whatever is given in the school is not, doesn't look logical, or the dates don't match. The most authentic evidence we are able to get is from my pre-monastic family astrologer. He pulled out my elder brothers, my father, my mother, my younger brother, mine, all records, and from that we came to know that exact time, date, and whole thing. Anyhow, listen. This 40th Chaturmasya is not my pride. It's a glory of my gurus and the tapas they have done on me. I only did one thing. I simply connected with them as they introduced themselves to me. With that strength, I went through everything, up, down, good, bad, right, wrong, difficult, easy, everything. Because it is a simple science. I realized conscious sovereignty manifestation is neither difficult nor easy. It is just simple science. You just have to go through, that's all. If you think guru-disciple relationship is difficult, you will become powerless and drop out at some time. If you think it is too easy, you will take it for granted and may not go with the flow and may take things very casual. So understand, it is neither difficult nor easy. It's simple science. The guru-disciple relationship is a simple science. If I utter a word, immediately it becomes a movement. If I utter one command or an order, immediately it becomes a movement all over the world. It is the outer world logic. It's because of the internet. I utter, you hear, and you start doing. Same way, I'll give you the science of inner net. When you decide to connect with me as I introduce me to you, all the tapas my gurus have done on me, all the powers from Arunagiri Yogeshwara, Paramashiva himself, they poured inside me. All that becomes your property. You become the inheritor of all that. See, Paramashiva appears as Arunagiri Yogeshwara and introduces himself to his disciples. Whoever decides to connect with him, as Arunagiri Yogeshwara introduced himself as Paramashiva, all those disciples inherited Arunagiri Yogeshwara's tapas, powers, everything, state, space, powers, being, super consciousness, and Kailasa of Arunagiri Yogeshwara was inherited by his disciples. Then it was inherited by their disciples from his disciples. That Guru Parampara, Guru Sishya Parampara was coming. Fortunately, this time, again Paramashiva himself manifested as Arunagiri Yogeshwara and directly showered everything, and his Guru Parampara, the Guru Sishya Parampara, they also showered everything. So all the tapas they have done, all the powers they showered in this being, their state, their space, their powers, their being, their superconsciousness, their Kailasa, everything they all have showered on this being. You simply inherit. The moment you decide to connect with me as I introduce myself to you, that's all. I don't want to say you connecting me as I introduce me to you is difficult. It's not difficult, actually. Because I have given too much of evidence to establish my Paramashivatva. When I say Paramashiva is manifesting, you deciding to connect with that introduction is not difficult. Same way, I don't want to say it is easy. If you think it is easy, you may take it casual. Understand? Simple conscious decision, all it takes, and simply go with it. I decided when my gurus introduced themselves from their Paramashivatva space, I decided to connect with that introduction. And I decided to go with them. Whether they feed me with a sweet pongal, the sweets, or the bitter neem juice, or bitter aushadis. Anything they do, I decided to go with them. When they showered me with their love, Listen. My guru-disciple relationship with my gurus. Never it was difficult, never it was easy. It is simply the way it is, that's all. I decided this is my life, that's it. See, the moment I decided this is my life, nothing seemed to be difficult. And same way, I don't want to take the whole thing for granted saying it is easy. No. I should say it was a sweet, powerful, worthy adventure. This is the way I want to describe my guru-disciple relationship with my gurus. Powerful, juicy, spicy, tasty, worthy adventure. And the way all my gurus, my Guru Parampara manifested in me, the way they showered themselves in me, the way they prepared my body, the way they prepared my mind into a super mind, the way they prepared my decision making, the way they awakened my buddhi, the way they gave me the Chaitanya Jakratam, the way they gave conscious sovereignty, the way they showered me with Paramashiva state, space, powers, being, super consciousness, and Kailasa, everything, how they showered on me. I can go on singing the glory of my Guru Parampara. Actually, everything I sing is the glory of my Guru Parampara. Only thing I did, I decided I choose to connect with my gurus as they introduced themselves to me. And I stand by it, I go with it. That's it. I just go with it. To go with that, whatever needs to be added, I decided to add. To go with that, whatever needs to be dropped, I decided to drop. That's it. To go with the flow of my Guru's words, to be integrated to my Guru Vak. If I have to learn Sanskrit, I decided to learn. If I have to drop my home and other relationships, I decided to drop. If I have to start teaching, I decided to start teaching. Whatever I need to do to keep my Guru Vak, my integrity to my Guru Vak, I simply started doing. That's all. Life with Guru is neither difficult nor easy. It is simple. That's all. Listen, it's neither difficult nor easy. It is simple. Over. I decided consciously choosing to connect with my gurus as they introduced themselves to me first. Second, no question of negotiating, simply listen to Guru Vak and execute. That's all. No question of, oh, can I do that? Can I do this? Can I go in this way? Can I ask for another option? Can I ask for another option? My guru-disciple relationship with my gurus is choiceless, optionless, absolute, sweet, simple surrender and obedience. That's it. And it's neither difficult nor easy. And it is simple. Because I chose it and I decided to live it. It's neither difficult nor easy. It is simple. So understand, I realized when I choose to connect with my gurus as they introduce themselves to me, I inherited all their state, space, powers, being, superconsciousness, Kailasa, everything, said, unsaid, everything theirs, I inherited, and it started manifesting in me. Same way, whoever connects with the introduction I am giving about me inherits everything I received from my Guru Parampara, from me, and it starts manifesting in you all also. Listen, if you choose to connect with me as I introduce me to you all, as the living manifestation Paramashiva. This is my introduction to you all. Paramashiva, fully manifesting himself to revive the Kailasa ecosystem on this plane as this Nijavatara Nithyananda. He himself is manifesting. This is the introduction I am giving about me to you all. Whoever chooses to connect with this introduction, feel blessed. You inherit everything I received from my Guru Parampara, from Paramashiva himself and Paramashakti and my whole Guru Parampara, whatever I received, you are inheriting all of that. This is the science of inner net. That's all. I bless you all as the manifestation of Paramashiva. Whoever chooses to connect with me as I introduce myself, I bless you all with all the auspiciousness, the boons you ask, whether it is health or wealth or relationship or bhakti Bhakti, Shakti, Mukti, anything you want. Because you inherit whatever I received from my Guru Parampara. Whoever chooses to connect with me as I introduce me, now you can send your prayers, questions, everything you want through social media. I'll answer, respond, connect, bless, give the boons. Whoever chooses to connect with me as I introduce me to you all, you can send your questions, prayers, the boons you want, everything. I'll respond, bless, grant the boons. Kansetta Galota, blessings. Jayakumar Sundaramurti, I give you the boon of unclutching, Nirvigalpa Samadhi.
தவமோ உற்ற நண்பனாய் நித்யானந்தனும் வந்து உதித்தான் ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் செய்த தவமோ உற்ற நண்பனாய் நித்யானந்தனும் வந்து உதித்தான் காக்கும் இறையே நட்டின் உருவாய் வந்த களிப்பால் கட்டு கடங்கா மகிழ்வு கொண்டே மலை போல் வரும் செய்த தவமோ உற்ற நண்பனாய் நித்யானந்தன் வந்து உதித்தான் உடல் மாய்க்கும் நோய் வந்த போதும் உயிர் காக்கும் மருந்தாகி நின்றிடுவான் மனம் பார்க்கும் இடர்கள் தீர இடம் சேர்க்கும் வார்த்தைகளை பேசிடுவான் தலை தூக்கிடும் கருவங்களை தடம் மாற்றிட வெடிப்பான் பின் கருணை மழையாய் பொழிவான் தினம் கருணை மழையாய் பொழிவான் பின் கருணை மழையாய் பொழிவான் தினம் கருணை மழையாய் பொழிவான் ஜென்ம ஜென்மமாய் செய்த தவமோ